Now, book 3 is Dead Silence, and this one was very heavy. So the main theme of this one is domestic violence, and it does not shy away from any aspect of domestic violence, both the physical and mental abuse of such a horrific environment. It follows one woman in particular. The book starts with a spoiler, really. So me telling you isn't a spoiler, but the book starts with the subtitle, "So many hours before Alex's murder." So you know Alex is going to die. And you suspect you know by whom and how because of the situation. We spend a lot of time following the abuse of this one woman, and it's an uncomfortable read, but it's designed to be an uncomfortable read, and it is written incredibly well, in my opinion. I personally have never been through anything like this, but I know people who have, and I get the feeling that it's passed through a sensitivity reader. It may not have done, because Jay is one of these people who, you know, your feelings are not my responsibility. He always says that, because there's no trigger warnings in his books because of that. And for that reason, it probably hasn't been through a sensitivity reader, but it reads like it has, if that makes sense. But as good as this story is, and it's very good, it's still one of the best thrillers that I've read in recent memory. Something is lacking with this one, because it feels like it hasn't been through an editor. Now, when I say that, there are story inconsistencies. There are glaringly obvious typos. Some with Laura's name, the main character. Some, in 2 or 3 occasions, it's spelled Luara or something. It's really obvious mistakes. And there's a chapter where the abused woman in question is about to jump off a bridge. And she turns around and she says something to Laura, and she says, "She did it," and then jumps. That's not a spoiler. That's right at the start of the book. So don't feel like that's a spoiler. She doesn't die. And later on, when Laura is recalling those words, the first time she says, "Wonder what she meant by 'she did it.'" But then the next time it's recalled, she recalls it, "She made me do it." Now, that's not what was said. And then the next bit, it was back to "she did it." So there's an inconsistency there in plot recall, I suppose. And as much as I get the ending of this book, I understand why it ended the way it did. It was predictable. A certain character is reintroduced in this book that wasn't in the second book very much. She was in the second book. Anyway, she's reintroduced into this book. And as soon as she's reintroduced, you know the ending. It's a little bit too predictable, because you know the characters by this point. So for me, this one was a 4-star, but it was still a solid book. I just think it could have done with another pass through the editor, because some of the mistakes are quite obvious, and I feel like for a book that's been out for over a year, someone should have picked up on that by now. But that's just me being picky, and I have to be picky because they're so good books. So yeah, 4 stars for this one. And of course, I moved on to the 4th book,